Okay. Well, good morning. $50,000 subscribers. I'm 15 short of 50,000 subscribers. Never in my wildest dreams would I have ever suspected that I would get 50,000 people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I think this is amazing. You know, I started this YouTube channel a long time ago, and some of you have probably heard this story before, but it was when YouTube first came out in 2006. I was introduced to it and I thought, this is crazy, you know, television for everybody and anybody. And so I went ahead and started my channel. But back at the time, I thought, okay, the benefit of a YouTube channel is going to be mostly for my clients. I'll be able to do a specific video on a topic and store them, and then all I have to do is send the client a link. Before that, I was into VHS. I did these VHS tapes that I would deliver to a client. I would take my big old camera around that had the VHS recorder inside of it, and I would go around and I'd walk and I'd talk, and I did editing, basically what was called editing on the fly, where I'd start and stop the camera, and I would think about what I was going to say, start the camera, say it, stop the camera, move over to another scene, start, stop, start, stop. And I would produce a short video that would benefit the client. And I did that a lot for complexes. When there was a homeowners association that had to make decisions about all of their trees. And that seemed to work out pretty good. And then I got into doing the DVDs, and that was also very helpful. But when YouTube came around, that was like a brand new concept. I don't know if you can hear that, but guns are going off in the background. One of the benefits of living in the mountains. Well, I had to move indoors because the guns were just getting too loud outside. I tell you, I sometimes wonder why people come up to the mountains to enjoy the peace and quiet and screw it up for everybody. I just don't get it. Well, maybe it's not so bad over here. Got a bit of a reprieve from the gunfire. I love living up in the mountains. I love the times when it is peaceful. I love the times that it's quiet. And I love the life around me. The YouTube channel that I have developed has really taken on a life of its own. And it's really interesting that from time to time, I will get somebody who recognizes me. You know, that's kind of fun, you know. It's you know, I don't consider myself famous by any means, but when somebody sees me and says, "Hey, I know you. You're Arborist Blair Glenn," that's kind of a, you know, kind of a cheap thrill for me. Matter of fact, one time I was up at a restaurant in Mendocino with my wife, and this guy came from across the room and he looked at me, and I looked back at him, and he comes over and he says, "You're Arborist Blair Glenn, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Yeah, I recognize you from your belt buckle. I knew you were a tree man." And I looked at you and I thought, I know that guy. So when little things like that happen, it's kind of fun for me. Hey, check this out. This is in my garden. This is a cut-leaf Japanese maple that is a dwarf species, and I planted this over 10 years ago. And it's not in the best location, but every fall it produces this extraordinary red color. It's a contrast in my garden. I absolutely love this little tree.